We hope you heard the breaking news just moments ago, but if you didn't, President Trump says he is, quote, terminating the international nuclear treaty, saying that it's meant to send a signal to Russia and China, adding that it's, quote, a threat to whoever you want. You can't play that game with me. He says that the Russians have been violating this treaty, and the U.S. has to do something about it. Our next guest is a leading analyst of politics and society in Russia and the Ukraine, and has even advised governments on diplomatic efforts on Eurasian conflicts. Matthew Rojansky is joining us live. Matthew, do you believe the president? Are we out? Is he terminating this deal?
Look, I believe him. The timing of exactly when the diplomats would send an instrument indicating that, technically the treaty is not in force anymore, who knows? But the White House has taken a decision. The Obama administration communicated for many years to the Russians, calling their bluff. Look, we know you're in violation of this treaty. We're going to do something about it. We're going to do something about it. This is now the administration saying, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull out. You can't have your cake and eat it too anymore. And I think that's the message that John Bolton took to Moscow today. And my assessment is the Russians are not going to just go back into compliance. They're not going to say, oh, yeah, you called us out. Just kidding. We mean to be in compliance. We're back in the treaty. So I think for all intents and purposes, the treaty is dead.
Boy, this sure looks like it's right out of President Trump's MO and his playbook. And that's not a bad thing, because it was President Obama back in 2014 who first flagged the Russians and said, you're violating this treaty. It got worse and worse, and no one did anything about it. And now President Trump has to get out there and say, or he feels he has to get out there and say, we're out. Here's what's banned. Anything from about 500 kilometers to 5,500 kilometers, and these ground-to-air missiles. Who is hurt most if the U.S. pulls out of this treaty?
So the treaty was designed and signed in the context of the Cold War, which meant that the United States and the Soviet Union were facing each other principally in Europe. That was going to be the main battleground. And the idea was, let's pull out all the weapons that don't promote stability between the two superpowers. And stability is basically, we can hit Moscow, they can hit Washington, but neither side wants to start a nuclear war. If you have stuff that, for example, would only blow up, countries in between, there might be a temptation for either Moscow or Washington to start a war thinking that the casualties wouldn't be borne by their country. Now, it's bad if that treaty goes away today, because obviously Europeans will be more concerned. They might take matters into their own hand, maybe developing their own nuclear weapons or wanting to have more weapons on their territory. That's the potentially destabilizing factor. But the real issue off on the sideline here is China. The Russians are developing these systems not because they want to threaten the Europeans or Americans. It's because they want to deter the Chinese, right? This is their kind of frenemy of a partner in Beijing. And China, as a matter of geography, is in an intermediate range from Russian territory.
I just want to say, because we're showing nuclear weapons-related stocks here, everyone from Raytheon to Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, Boeing is in there, certainly. It's a mixed picture, but it's not like they're charging higher. They are falling more than they are moving higher. And that's the question, at least for our business audience. Is this something where you eventually see it ameliorating or coming to at least a close? But Russians don't admit to anything. They didn't admit to smearing a nerve agent on Sergei Skripal's face in the UK. They don't admit anything.
So you have two sides here in what has to be a negotiation at the end of the day. There may be an arms race element to it, but at the end of the day, neither side wants a nuclear war. The position President Trump is staking out is, we're willing to go there to an arms race if you don't admit that you're in violation of the treaty and go back into compliance. But the Russian position is equally tough. They say, nothing doing, we're not in violation. So we're starting from two very far apart points in a negotiation, but there's going to be a negotiation. And I think what markets may be reading in this is that actually the Bolton visit, though they're not announcing it publicly, may be the first step in that negotiation. They're talking about New START, which deals with long-range strategic capabilities, and they're talking about the global nuclear non-proliferation treaty. That's the one that deals with the Irans, the North Koreas of the world.
Matthew, as we finish, yes or no, is this the start of a new Cold War?
Well, I think we're already deep in something that smells a lot like a new Cold War.
Thank you very much. Matthew Rojansky. And Matthew, of course, is the director of the Kennan Institute on Russia.